Crabs infested rescued. Beluga helps its rescuer back in ocean. How the beluga helps its rescuer back in ocean? You must have curiosity about how crabs infested rescued. For that, you must have to watch full video. If you miss the end of this video, you must be in doubt. If you enjoyed this video and found it valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us create more amazing content and bring you incredible stories. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you know someone who would love this video, share it with them. It means the world to us. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Let's get started this story before wasting your time. So a lone fisherman sets out on what seems like an ordinary day at sea, his boat gently rocking with the waves. But then something catches his eye, a strange disturbance in the water. At first, he thinks it's just the current, but as he moves closer, his heart tightens. Floating near the surface is a massive, ghostly white figure, barely moving, a beluga whale. But something is terribly wrong. Instead of gliding gracefully through the water, the creature looks weak, struggling as if trapped in an invisible force. Then the fisherman notices something horrifying. Hundreds of crabs, their claws latched onto the beluga's delicate skin, slowly tormenting the helpless creature. The sight is heartbreaking. He knows he has to act fast. But how do you help a creature this large, this vulnerable, without scaring it away? He takes a deep breath and moves in closer. Little does he know, this decision will change both their lives forever. The fisherman grips the edge of his boat, his eyes locked onto the struggling beluga. Up close, the situation is even worse than he imagined. The whale's once pristine white skin is covered in patches of redness, raw and inflamed from the relentless grip of the crabs. The creatures cling stubbornly, their sharp pincers digging in, as if they've made the beluga their new home. It's a cruel sight, this majestic, intelligent being reduced to nothing more than a moving island for parasites. The beluga barely moves. Its body sways with the rhythm of the waves, its strength fading. But there's something in its eyes. Something beyond pain, a silent plea. It isn't fighting back, isn't trying to dive away. It's as if it knows it can't win this battle alone. The fisherman knows time is against him. The crabs aren't just an irritation, they're a slow living torture. If the beluga remains covered in them, infection and exhaustion could take its life. But this is a wild animal. One wrong move, one moment of fear, and it could dive deep, escaping his help forever. And if that happens, it may never resurface. He reaches for his fishing net, thinking quickly. He can't just pluck the crabs off one by one. That would take hours. Instead, he tries to scoop them away, brushing them off in clusters. But the moment the net touches the beluga's skin, it flinches. A deep, echoing sound vibrates through the water, a distressed call. The fisherman's heart pounds. Did he just make a terrible mistake? For a moment, the beluga moves. It shifts slightly, its massive body rolling, as if deciding whether to trust this human or escape into the unknown. The fisherman holds his breath. If it leaves now, there's no second chance. Then, something incredible happens. Instead of fleeing, the beluga stops struggling. It stays still. It's allowing him to help. But why? Does it understand his intentions? Or is this simply exhaustion taking over? The fisherman doesn't have time to wonder. Carefully, he moves closer, beginning the delicate process of freeing the whale. But he has no idea that this rescue will take an unexpected and dangerous turn, one that neither he nor the beluga could have ever predicted. The fisherman steadies himself, fully aware that he's about to attempt something few would dare, removing the crabs one by one from the fragile skin of a massive, wild beluga. Every move has to be precise. One wrong tug could send the whale into a panic, and if it thrashes or dives, the rescue will be over before it even begins. Slowly he reaches out, his hands trembling slightly. The first crab is latched on tightly, its claws buried deep. He grips it carefully, twisting just enough to loosen its hold. With a sudden snap, it releases, dropping into the water below. The fisherman exhales, but there's no time to celebrate. There are dozens more. Minutes turn into an hour. With each crab he removes, he watches the beluga's body react. sometimes flinching in pain, sometimes releasing a low, haunting sound that vibrates through the ocean. It's almost as if the whale is communicating with him, telling him how much it hurts and how much it wants to be free. But then, just as he thinks he's making progress, a shadow moves beneath the boat. His pulse quickens. Something is circling below. Is it another whale? A shark? The fisherman's mind races. He knows that an injured, struggling animal can attract predators. He glances at the beluga. If something attacks now, the poor creature doesn't have the strength to escape. He works faster, his hands moving with urgency. The crabs are falling away, but his instincts tell him that time is running out. Then suddenly, the beluga moves. Not in fear, not in pain, but in an unmistakable way. It's shifting to make it easier for him to reach the remaining crabs. The fisherman's breath catches in his throat. This whale isn't just tolerating his help. It understands what's happening. It trusts him. The last few crabs come off, plopping into the sea. The beluga's skin, though damaged, is finally free. The fisherman sits back, exhaustion washing over him. He did it. He actually did it. But just as he starts to relax, the sea itself turns against him. A powerful wave rises out of nowhere, slamming into the boat with terrifying force. The impact sends him flying backward. He reaches for something, anything to hold on to, but his fingers grasp nothing but air. In an instant, he's overboard, crashing into the cold, unforgiving water. Disoriented, struggling to keep his head above the surface, he realizes the truth. He's in trouble, serious trouble. The currents are strong, his boat is drifting away, and his muscles are already tiring. And then the real horror strikes. He's not alone in the water. Something is moving toward him, fast. But just when he thinks this might be the end, something else moves. Something massive. Something white. The very creature he just saved is about to make a decision that will shock the world. The cold water swallows him whole. A crushing silence fills his ears as he tumbles beneath the surface, his body twisting in the swirling currents. Panic surges through his veins. This wasn't supposed to happen. One moment, he was rescuing a helpless creature. The next, he is the one in desperate need of saving. His head breaks the surface, gasping for air, but the waves are relentless. His boat, his only hope, is drifting farther away, bobbing like a toy on the restless sea. He tries to swim toward it, but his limbs feel like lead. The exhaustion of the rescue, the biting cold of the water, it's too much. His strength is fading fast. Then something shifts beneath him. A dark, looming shape moves through the water. It's fast, powerful, and it's coming straight for him. His heart pounds in his chest. A shark, a predator drawn to his frantic splashing. His mind screams at him to move, to fight, but his body is sluggish, heavy. The ocean suddenly feels endless, and for the first time, a terrible thought crosses his mind. This might be the end. But then, something else moves. A massive, pale form glides through the depths, cutting through the water with surprising grace. It's the beluga, the very creature he just saved. But instead of swimming away, free at last, it's coming back. A wave crashes over him, pulling him under again. But before he can even struggle, something pushes against him. A force, a presence. Then a feeling, smooth, strong, warm against the freezing water. The beluga is lifting him. He barely has time to process what's happening before he's being pushed upward, his body breaking through the surface. The whale doesn't stop. With a gentle but firm nudge, it keeps him afloat, moving him slowly but steadily toward his drifting boat. The fisherman clings to the beluga's back, his mind reeling. Why is it doing this? Is it instinct? A mere coincidence? Or is this gratitude? Every second feels unreal. The very creature he risked his life to help is now returning the favor. As they near the boat, a final challenge awaits. The fisherman is weak, his muscles trembling, and the edge of the boat seems impossibly high. But the beluga doesn't hesitate. It shifts beneath him, giving one last powerful lift. His hands grasp the boat's edge. He pulls with every ounce of strength he has left. And then, finally, he collapses onto the deck, coughing, gasping, alive. He turns back toward the water, his heart pounding. The beluga lingers just beneath the surface, watching him. They lock eyes for a moment, an unspoken understanding passing between them. Then with a slow, graceful movement, the beluga disappears into the deep. But the fishermen know this is not just another animal. This is something more, and he will never see the ocean the same way again. The fisherman lies on the deck of his boat, his chest heaving, his hands trembling. He is alive, but not because of luck, not because of his own strength. No, he is alive because of the beluga. He pulls himself upright, still gasping for air, and stares into the water. The surface is calm now, as if the ocean itself has settled after the storm. But just beneath, he sees it, that ghostly white figure lingering in the depths. The beluga hasn't left. It's still there, watching him. For a moment, he says nothing. He doesn't move. He simply looks at the creature that just saved his life. Why? Science tells us that animals don't feel emotions like humans do, that they act on instinct, not compassion. But if that's true, then why didn't the beluga swim away the moment it was freed? Why did it turn back? Why did it push him toward his boat instead of vanishing into the deep? The fisherman doesn't know the answer. Maybe no one truly does. But in this moment, he feels the truth. This was not a random act. This was not mere survival. This was something greater. He dips his hand into the water, reaching toward the beluga, and for a fleeting moment, it comes closer. The smooth curve of its head breaks the surface, just within reach. It lingers there, as if it understands. Then with one final glance, the beluga dives. Its white form fades into the endless blue, disappearing into the vast unknown. The fisherman sits back, his mind racing. He has spent his life on the ocean, seen countless creatures, witnessed the raw beauty of nature. But nothing compares to this. He will tell this story for the rest of his life. Some will believe him, others will call it coincidence. But deep down, he knows the truth. Because sometimes kindness does not go unnoticed. Sometimes the very creature you save, saves you in return. The fisherman remains on his boat, staring at the spot where the beluga disappeared. The ocean is vast and empty once more, yet it feels different, alive in a way he has never understood before. The gentle waves lap against the hull, whispering secrets only the sea knows. But he knows one thing for certain. He has just witnessed something extraordinary. He grips the boat's railing, his hands still unsteady. His mind replays every moment, the beluga's silent suffering, its unwavering trust, and its astonishing decision to save him when the ocean turned against him. This was no accident, no simple act of survival. This was gratitude. For centuries, scientists have studied marine life, trying to understand the minds of whales and dolphins. They know belugas are intelligent, social creatures capable of problem solving. But can they truly feel? Can they recognize kindness and return it? The fisherman doesn't need science to tell him the answer. He felt it. He turns his gaze to the horizon, the weight of the experience settling deep in his soul. He has always respected the ocean, but now he understands it in a way he never did before. It is not just a place of danger or survival. It is a world of mysteries, of connections beyond logic, of moments that defy explanation. Somewhere beneath these waves, the beluga swims freely once more, its pain relieved, its life restored. He wonders if it will remember him, if their paths will ever cross again. But maybe that doesn't matter. Maybe in the grand design of the universe, this was always meant to happen. Two lives intertwining for a brief moment, forever changed by an unspoken bond. He takes one last deep breath, then turns his boat toward the shore. This is a story he will tell for the rest of his days. A story of an unlikely friendship. A story of kindness repaid in the most astonishing way. And a story that proves, beyond any doubt, sometimes the most extraordinary miracles come from the hearts of the creatures we least expect.